hopefully nothing will happen this time. So mat Pilates, if you've never done it before, you'll be needing a mat and your own body, focusing on core musculature. So that's any muscle that attaches to your spine and pelvis. Let's go ahead and get started. And again, I can come up and check the chat anytime you guys have some questions. So since we're starting like, you know, about 5 minutes late, I'll go 5 minutes over. Beth. And it was actually while I was saying hi to Beth that everything shut down. So I am going to teach until 6:20, but if you need to be somewhere at 6:15, feel free to leave the meeting. All right, so we're starting with our Pilates breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. I'm just going to get us started here since we're running late, but things to note. Feel free to modify any of the movements that I do. I'll be trying to give as much cueing, education, and modifications as necessary so that you feel the right muscle groups and don't feel any pain or strain anywhere. Keep breathing. Inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. Drink water at any time. I'm not really like stopping at any point during this 45 minutes, so take water breaks anytime you need it. And also feel free to play whatever music you would like to listen to while you're doing Pilates in your room. All right, so inhaling again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then let's go ahead and just take it to the mat here. So rolling on down. Make sure your head's on the mats. If you have a short mats and either your feet or head is going to be on the floor, have it be your feet. So we have our knees bent, feet flat on the floor. We're going to inhale, chest rises. Exhale, abdominals flatten. Inhale. And exhale. Good. So normally there's a small gap under the lower back, which is called our neutral spine, neutral pelvis position. On our next exhale, we're going to imprint. So drawing the abs down and getting rid of that lower back gap. Good. Inhale, relax. Exhale, imprint. And when I say relax, I just mean your abs aren't like engaged and drawing down anymore. So you come back to neutral position. Exhale, imprint. Inhale, neutral. One more time, imprint. And neutral. You can sort of see my pelvis just gently rocking back and forth. And this time we're going to hold on to the imprints and lift the legs to tabletop. Knees over the hips, shins parallel to the floor. On the exhale, the right toes reach to the floor. Inhale, return. Exhale, left. And you're just going to alternate this toe tapping. While you breathe. So as you exhale, you want to reinforce that imprint. Yeah, good. So reinforce the imprint so that your lower back doesn't peel off the mat as the legs lower. You shouldn't feel anything in your lower back. If you don't feel anything in your stomach, however, then you want to double check your knees. Sometimes as we lower one leg, the other knee starts to pull in towards the chest, and that counterbalances the movement, which takes away any work in the abs. You keep that other leg perfectly still, right over the hips, then you shouldn't feel any, and then you should feel your abs working more as the legs reach away. Now see if you can do it with both feet or both legs. Again, you're really going to feel your abs here, unless the first thing you do is you drop your heels to your butt and then reach down. When your knees are less than 90 degrees, then you won't feel much work in the abs. If your legs are very straight, you'd be feeling a lot of work. But we're not going there right now. We're just kind of doing that in between to warm up our muscles and not do anything too extreme right now. Anytime we do straight leg exercises today, you can always keep your knees bent. All right, finish on the last one. We'll lower down. And then slide your feet a little closer to your butt. For your shoulder bridge, rolling through the spine, tailbone lifts up first, and then the rest of your spine comes up. Looking for that neutral position. Straight line through shoulders, hips, and knees. Inhale, exhale, rolling back down. Inhale. Exhale. So you're alternating the breath with each movement. As you exhale, you're either rolling up through the spine, one vertebra at a time, 1 inch at a time, or you're rolling down. And the inhales will be either when you're all the way at the top and holding, or when you're at the bottom and holding. Okay, just go ahead and finish up on your last one. Everyone's working kind of at a different pace and different tempo. That's okay. I don't want you to feel rushed. In fact, in Pilates, you want to try never to rush through these exercises. I'm trying to move nice and slowly. We're going to do our ab crunch. Denying the chin, lifting the head, neck, and shoulder blades, looking toward the knees. Inhale, hold, and exhale down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, I'm holding. Exhale, I'm lowering. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, so you're using your abdominals and only your abdominals to lift the head, neck, and shoulders. The reason why slow movement works is because there is no momentum involved in these exercises. It's all based on muscular contraction. So we're shortening the muscle here, bringing the ribs toward the hips. Yeah, we're going to do hundreds. Let's do one more here. And then you can prepare your legs for hundreds. You can keep your feet on the ground, tabletop, straight, hamstring stretch on the diagonal. Less hamstring stretch, a lot more ab work. All right, so pick one of those 4 leg positions, and you don't have to commit to any of them. If you want to start here and then make it easier, right? So this is the most challenging. You can, or you can start from easier and go to hard. Nod the chin, we'll lift the head, neck, and shoulders, and start to pump those straight arms. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 10. Inhale. Exhale. 20. Inhale. Exhale. I'm straightening. 30. Exhale. 40. Inhale. Exhale. 50. Inhale. Exhale. I'm lowering. Inhale. Exhale. 70. Inhale. Exhale. 80, inhale. Exhale. 90, inhale. And exhale. Hug those knees in. And let's come to our stomach. So you want to treat this exercise sort of like the opposite of a crunch. Instead of lifting head, neck, and shoulder blades, we're lifting head, neck, and top of the chest. So I'm lifting head, neck, and top of the chest. Keeping my chin slightly tucked, just as I did when I was doing my crunch. When you crunch, you keep your chin tucked. Here, you want to keep your chin tucked. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale. I have my forearms on the ground, and I'm gently pressing into my forearm from fingertips to elbows. Keeping my legs on the floor. And if you feel like you don't really need those forearms to assist anymore, you can take those hands back. This is our first spine exercise of the day, so you want to ease into working this muscle group. That's why I always start with forearms on the ground. Always want to give that assistance if we need it. Now with the arms reaching behind, I can open up my chest a little more squeezing of the shoulder blades. Good, and at no point am I looking up. Now, I am looking up at you guys, but for you guys, you don't need to look up. You want to keep your chin down, keep your head and neck aligned. All right, finishing up with the last one, take your hands underneath your shoulders and push yourself up to a seated position on your heels, stretching the spine. Okay, so we're back to working the abs. We're back onto our butt. So here, rounding the spine and going halfway back. These are called our half rollback. If we were to roll all the way down, we would be rolling sequentially down our spine. But here the goal is to go halfway back and find sort of that really challenging point where it's challenging to hold this position. I have my arms reaching forward for counterbalance. I'm keeping this curve in my spine, but if you want to, at the top, you can lengthen your spine a little bit. This is challenging. Okay, we're gonna add some endurance to this exercise here. So doesn't matter which way you go first. We're gonna go exhale back. We're gonna inhale, we're gonna hold it right here. Exhale, twist to one side. Bring both arms over. Good, inhale back to center. Exhale, go to the other side. We're still in our half leaning back position. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, sit up. Okay, so once you've picked that position or the angle of how far you're gonna go back, try to stay there while you rotate once to each side and then sit back up. This time when we go back, just go the opposite direction first, so you're not always favoring the same side in your rotation. So take a breath in, exhale. Draw the abs in. Find that challenging point. Inhale, we hold. Exhale, turn, rotates. Inhale, back to center. Exhale. Inhale, back to center. And up. So it looks like I'm kind of robotically going. Twist, center, twist, center. Actually, you don't have to. You can actually make it very smooth. And you just want to keep the breath going. All right, so let's do it 2 more times. And focus on smoothness this time. Exhale, lean back. Inhale, hold. Exhale to the right. Inhale here. Going back. Exhale to the other side. Inhale. And exhale. So you're always going back and forth between the inhale and the exhale, and then you're kind of moving at the point where you're rotating with the exhales. Last time, take a breath in, exhale, scoot back. Inhale, hold center, exhale. Rotates. Inhale as you unrotate, and then exhale as you start to rotate to the other side. Inhale, you're back to center, and exhale, you're up. Good, and now exhale, we're gonna roll all the way down. Trying a more challenging version of the roll-up. Option to keep your arms forward. That will always make it a little easier because your arms are in front. It's gonna have you do the hands stuck by the forehead version. All right, before I do this, I'm just gonna show you one version of the normal roll-up. I do this basic version a lot, so I'm just giving variations. If you've seen this before in another class, feel free to do it. I have one leg lifted. The sequence is arms, head, shoulders on the inhale. Leg straighten and spine crunch on the exhale. Ab crunch. Exhale here. So as you crunch your abs, your spine goes up. Stretch, hamstring, and lower back. Keep the heels grounded as you lower. So the more challenging version is hands stuck to your forehead. But don't be too worried about it because you have your leg. Your leg can just kick out a little harder, a little faster to help with coming up. Inhale, head, neck, shoulders. Exhale, legs, abs. How do we do? Good. This exercise is really dependent on you. Like, there's so many ways you can do it. You can kick your leg out really fast, but you'll notice that if you kick your legs out too vigorously, it pulls your whole body up without you having to use your abs. So find what's challenging and doable for you. So I'm lifting head, neck, and shoulders, and maybe I'm going to slowly straighten my legs, which is enough assistance to help me with my abs. Okay? Don't be afraid afraid to experiment in terms of speed, because the worst that could happen is that you don't make it all the way up. Then you go kick a little faster and then you make it up. But if you repeatedly kick really fast and you never feel your abs, then that kind of defeats the purpose of this exercise. Let me know if that makes sense. And then if you've been doing Pilates and you want to keep both heels down the entire time, you can. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I keep both heels down and I'm nodding the chin. Inhale, shoulder blades, exhale, my spine comes up. I'm doing everything else the same. I'm still reaching forward toward my toes. It's just not with my arm. I'm reaching forward with my head. And then when I roll down here, right, your hands are on your forehead. So that is extra work felt in the abs during the lowering phase. Don't forget you're working in the upward phase as well as the lowering phase. All right, so let's finish up on your last couple. So if you're doing right leg and then left leg, you have time to do one more. And if you're keeping both legs on the ground, you have time to do two more. And here, you can also do it with your arm straights. Lots of variations here. Because we're using our body, the only thing we can do to add more resistance to these exercises is manipulating the position of our limbs. And that's like how I would describe Pilates in a nutshell if I wasn't talking about core muscles. I would say we're basically challenging our abs by repositioning our limbs. Okay, so it looks like we're all done. So let's hug the knees in and let's blast through these ab series really quickly. And by quickly, I mean I'm not going to take any breaks, but you can always take a break. All right, so we're lifting. Oh, and you can always keep your head down too. I'm going to be lifting my head, neck, and shoulders up, but at any point, your head, neck, and shoulders can go back down. So now the chin, lift the head. Exhale, reach one leg. Inhale, switch, reach the other. Legs can go on the diagonal, can go more vertical, or can go very low on the diagonal. Again, you pick how much work you want to feel in your abs. Maintain imprint and try to keep the head, neck, and shoulder blades at a consistent height off the ground. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Good, take the hands behind the head. Add rotation. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Turning towards the bent knee, elbows nice and wide. Inhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Good. Slowing the legs down, bringing it to tabletop. Double leg stretch, reach, and return. Exhale, reach, return. Again, head can go down, or you can keep head, neck, and shoulder blades up. If your head is up, your shoulder blades are up. All right, so at no point is your head up or your shoulder blades are still down. Reach. I mean, it's physically doable, but I wouldn't recommend it. Exhale, reach. If you want a lot of challenge, you reach your legs lower to the ground. But you don't want to reach your arms too low to the ground because it actually pulls your shoulders down. You actually want to reach your arms up. Think, reach arms up and back. More up, less back. Legs are just kind of shooting out. Okay, and that's how you really feel it. Good, last one, bring it in, legs straight up, scissors, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. I'm taking turns sort of gently pulling my one leg towards my head. Legs can be slightly bent, no problem. But abs are engaged here. Good, let's take the hands behind the head. Support that neck for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So I think that's the fastest I've ever taught the ab series in a long time. Flip over and enjoy laying on your sore abs. Okay. All right, so we're going to do the staggered lift. So stacking those hands right underneath the forehead. When I inhale, I initially just lift the head, neck, and chest. Brace your body, brace your spine, Strong legs, exhale, lift the arms, and then lower everything. Inhale, just the upper body. Exhale, just the arms. The hands come to the forehead and lower everything. You don't want to have your head so high up. Ugh, I can't even get my arms to my forehead. So your head is too high or you're looking up. Your neck is hyperextended if your arms aren't making it to your forehead. So here's a quick way to check. Keep your hands glued to the forehead, lift right here. This is where your head should be, right? This is the test right here. So now that I don't have my arms going up with me, I try to lift to that same height, get my arms there, and lower. Keep going at your own pace with your breath. Again, you don't need to rush through it. But feel how your spine muscles really engage when your hands come off the floor. Your body position hasn't changed. It's that your spine muscles just like really woke up when that extra weight was added to the forehead. Okay? Ideally, you don't want to have your head and chest drop down to your arms. You want to be set in a strong position and have your arms float up to meet your forehead. All right, finishing up on the one you're on. I'm going to take your hands underneath your shoulders and once again pushing back for that stretch. And again, the stretch should feel good after doing all that spine work. Okay, we're going to go into our sideline leg series. All right, so I'm not going to do too many lying on our side because I want to get us up on our knees too. So they're both related to the side, the abductors and the adductors, the inner and outer thighs. So first, lie on your mats. Align yourself to the edge of the mat. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and assume that your mats have a straight edge and it's not like a curved edge. Okay. You can prop yourself up like this if it doesn't bother your neck. This is actually more ideal if this is okay for you, because your head and neck is more aligned with your spine. The reason I am propping up is because it's easier for me to like look at the screen. Right here. Up and down. Did you see how I almost fell back? If you feel unstable, then you're in the right position. If you feel very stable, that means you're actually leaning back on your butt. You want to be on only the side. If there's a seam along your shirt and pants, you're trying to balance on just that seam. So exactly the side of your body. So my toes and kneecaps are facing forward, which is also the direction I'm facing. So that means everything is in neutral alignment. If you aren't already squeezing your quads and squeezing your leg strong and straight, as if there's a very, very heavy object on your leg, then do so now. It's possible to lift your leg and have no muscles engaged at all, but the purpose here is abs engaged, stabilization, legs straight and lengthened. You're going to feel the outer thighs. Top hand, kickstand. Again, when you lift the arm, it should be a little unstable. Now let's hold the leg up, little circles for 1. Inhale, 2, exhale, 3. Just keep alternating the breath. Notice my leg is around hip height. My leg is nearly parallel to the floor, and my circles are really small. I'd say golf ball size. Reverse direction for 8. I don't know how many I did on that side. Maybe 7. Maybe I did 4. No, I think I did more than 4. It doesn't actually matter too much because this movement is so small. The whole purpose of this in drawing circles is to distract you from the fact that your leg is doing a pulsing motion. Good. If you want, if your foot's cramping up for any reason, you can flex your foot and do this entirely with flexed feet. Okay, staggered. So staggered means, I'm just going to keep my foot flexed for a moment. Bottom leg comes up to meet the top, and you lower both. Just like what we did with the spine exercise. So you lift top leg, bottom leg, squeeze the two together, and then lower. When the leg comes up to meet it, it's easy to just make the connection of touching. But see if you can really actually squeeze your legs together. Like you just caught a $100 bill. You don't want to lose it. Good. And then if you want, you can, you know, always go back and forth between pointing and flexing your foot. We're going to lift both legs and lower. Lift both, lower. And now we're going to pulse our legs. So usually, like, I don't want to make little circles because it's really hard to do with two legs, but it's kind of the same motion as when we're doing little circles. You really barely go down. You're going up and down, both legs. Squeeze both legs together and pulse it for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Drop it down for a quick break. And this exercise is called hot potato. I don't know why. You lift up your legs and it's like something's really hot in between your legs, so you touch it, but then you don't want to keep touching it, so you stop touching it. So it's a heel click. For 8, 7, 6. I know I'm counting every other one because I don't want to count that fast. 3, 2, 1. Okay, before you switch sides, before you go completely to the side, we're actually going to come up on our knees. Okay, and so that means we're still using the edge of our mats for that alignment here. And you want to tilt to the side. This motion right here is actually work. So as I tilt to the side, my other leg comes up. And then I'm going to right myself up again. Tilt. And lift. Good. If you find that you have to really push off, you try to see if you can use your leg. So actually go ahead and extend the leg and let's anchor it. So try this. Tilt. Like teapot, pour the tea, and then stop pouring the tea. Is that better? Okay, that was better for me too. Let's keep the leg out. Probably how I should have taught it in the first place. Oh, forget the teapot thing. Let's do the arms. I was just trying to demonstrate something. Feel this, obliques? Okay, that's not even the main part of the exercise. I just wanted to do that though. So here is the main part. Lifting and lowering. Now, does this bother anyone's knees? Because if it does, you can always roll up your mat like this. All right? So I don't want like uncomfortable knees to be a reason you aren't able to do these exercises. So roll up that mat if you need to. And we're now engaged here. My kneecap is still facing forward. So this is still that same leg lift that we did while we were lying on our side. We're just not on our side anymore. It's called kneeling. Yeah, let's try those same little pulses. Don't worry so much about the circling part. Just pulse it up there. Now watch that you're not piked. Piked is when my butt is back and my chest is forward. You want to have a straight line through your whole body. In 3, 2, 1. Good. This is really intense, I'm not going to lie, so we're not here to do too much. All right, now you get to go on the other side. I also want to make sure that you're not on your knees for too much. How are we doing? Everyone ready for the other side? Okay. I mean, because we're in quarantine, I'm just going to assume that people that normally wear a lot of high heels aren't wearing a lot of high heels right now. But I could be wrong. You might be walking around high heels in your living room every day. You don't know. But if you are, that's fine. I would highly recommend that you do more things in flexion, your foot flexed, because when you're constantly in high heels, it shortens your calves. It's like your foot is in a constantly pointed position. So just things to think about based on your habits in life. So if you do wear a lot of flats, then it's fine. You can either point the toe or flex the foot. So I have my hand on my hips here, and I don't know why, but normally I would want it on a kickstand. But if you want an extra challenge where you don't have that kickstand to help stabilize your body, then you can put your hands here. You can put your hands here. You can have your hand here. But if you're wiggling a lot and like unstable, then you want your hand down because the motion in your body
If you're not able to stay stable, it'll take away from the exercise. Now we're doing little leg circles. And again, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It's really just about the pulsing action. If you want to just go up and down, that's perfectly fine. Constantly breathing in and out. When we're doing the leg lift series, it's not so much of a, you must inhale at this time and exhale at this time. Just want to keep breathing. Good, if you're making circles, you can reverse it now. It's slow and it's small. If in doubt, slower, smaller. You hardly ever hear that, right? Everyone else thinks bigger, faster. Nope, not in Pilates.
As long as I see movement, I know Wi-Fi hasn't dropped me.
Okay, let's do the stagger. So hold your top leg still, bring the bottom one up to meet it, and lower. Lift, lift again, and lower. Lift the top, lift the bottom, lower. Similar to the other exercise that we did, the spine. You don't want to lift your top leg so high, and then when you try to bring the bottom up, it doesn't meet, so then you have to lower the bottom leg for it to meet. We want to just pick that parallel, that's parallel height, so that the bottom leg is able to meet the top leg. Give me 2 more, and then we're going to keep both legs together and lift and lower together. Both legs are strong and straight. Squeeze those quadriceps. Also, squeeze the legs together a little bit so you're activating the inner thighs. Let's pulse it at the top, both legs together. Pulse, pulse, pulse. If your outer thigh is really tired, then make your bottom leg do more work. Let the bottom leg, inner thigh do all the lifting right here. Lift, lift, lift. Okay. Did I do everything on this side that I did on the last side?
So, I sometimes forget. Did I get everything, Nancy? All right, we're on our knees. Same side. So whatever was on the top leg just now, we're still on the same side. I'm gonna roll up my mat here. So extend that leg that was on top out to the side. We're gonna tip over. When I tip over, my hand is on the same line and edge as my knee and my foot. This is why I use the edge of my mats. A couple of these to get the obliques. You can bend your elbows here, that's fine. Probably wouldn't bend your elbows here because then you just can't really reach the floor and know your stopping point. Okay, good. So let's keep the hand on the floor. Lift that top leg. Bottom leg is still working, it's stabilizing. It is not at rest. Top leg, it tends to want to turn out. It tends to want to turn the kneecaps to the ceiling. Really try to keep the kneecaps facing forward. Oh, sorry, let's just lift and lower first. We'll pulse in a little bit. Up and down, full range hip and motion here. You can exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Let's do 2 more. Keep those abs tight. I know we're not directly working our abs, but our abs are stabilizing, so draw the belly button in toward the spine. Now lift and pulse for 16, 15, 14, 10, 9, 8, 3, 2, 1. All right, it's probably the only time I've ever counted correctly in my life. We're gonna do a plank. We're on our knees, we're just gonna face down. Here's what I'm gonna say about this plank. I want your feet wider than usual. So you probably can't see if I'm like this, so I'm just gonna kind of angle my body this way. And then my feet this wide, all right? It can be probably the width of the mat. maybe a little wider, but if your floor is slippery, then I don't want your feet like on a hardwood floor. So this hardwood floor is kind of slippery, so I'm gonna just get my feet as wide as I can. My shoulders, on the other hand, my hands, that is, are gonna be underneath my shoulders. I'm gonna have my feet on the edges of my mats. Okay, so this is the plank. And here's the challenge I have for you. Now, option, you can do this on your knees. You can also do it on your elbows. I'm gonna first demonstrate it here on my wrists and my feet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna raise one arm. And the reason why you want your feet wide is because that tripod sort of position helps with stability. So when I first lift my arm, I'm not gonna rotate right away. I'm gonna feel a lot of work right here, and then I'm gonna rotate. So I'm gonna really take my time into getting into what I call the side plank. It's a staggered side plank, one leg in front of the other. And then when I come back to here, I'm not gonna eagerly, quickly put my arm down. I'm gonna first reach the arm forward and then slowly put the arm down. And what that does is it creates a lot more work in the abs. All right, so take your time with that. I'm gonna show it on the other side, and again, I'm turning all the way around so you can see my front arm lift. It is work on that wrist, okay? So that's why if you wanna do it on your elbows and knees, you can. So let me show you on the elbow version and the toes. So elbows and toes, elbows are underneath the shoulders, toes are nice and wide. Before I rotate, I'm gonna lift an arm. A lot of challenge right here to not rotate the hips. And then I'm gonna rotate up into the side plank. When I come back to the normal, because my feet are very wide, I put my arm forward a little bit for a little longer and then put my elbow down. Okay? Let me show you the knee version and elbow version. Reach an arm. When I come to one side knee, my other leg straight comes off. Sorry, let me do this side. Okay? And then when I come back to both knees, I'm not going to right away put down that arm, but I am going to square up to the floor, and I'm going to put my elbow down. Any questions? You can write in the chat. And then the only version I haven't done yet is on the wrists and on the knees. So on the wrists and on the knees. So I'm going to lift my arm. Rotate, open to the side. Make sure you're alternating sides, everyone. I'm going to come back to the front, square everything up. And then I'm going to put the arm in. Okay, so I've done all four variations. I want you guys, if you'd like, remember this class is optional, which means every exercise is optional and, you know, all that stuff. So why don't you try 2 more versions, one on each side, one of each arm lifted. And again, remember in Pilates, you win when you're the slowest. When you first lift that arm, I know your instinct is like, I just want to rotate, I know. But the challenge is when you don't rotate right away. The side plank is challenging, don't get me wrong, but it is definitely more challenging to do a normal floor-facing plank with only 3 arms on the ground. Now don't forget about your alignments. So the wrists or the elbows are always underneath the shoulders, whether you're in the side plank or the front plank. So make sure of that, right? So if you're starting out where your arms are already ahead of your shoulders like this, I guarantee you this is even more challenging. You gotta get the wrists underneath the shoulders. Okay, so I think we're about done. Let's take a break from our wrists, do some teasers, and then I'm going to finish a little bit with some push-ups. I did want to do some push-ups today, but I don't want to do it right now because we're just in planks and on the wrists. So let's get off our wrists, do some teasers. Teasers are like roll-ups, but we start with our legs off the ground. And again, similar to what we did, when you kick the leg out, if you kick it out too vigorously, you won't feel your abs. Start with your arms by the ears. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders. Exhale, legs crunch. So as the legs go out, you crunch the abs. That peels your spine off the ground. Pull your knees back in. Find your balance. Now reverse it. Inhale, legs. Sorry, this is exhale. And then we're down.
Inhale, arms, head, shoulders. Exhale, legs and abs. Inhale, hold. Exhale, legs and abs, control down. And then we're here. All right, I've been doing teasers probably most of the classes every week. So if you've been with me, this is not unfamiliar. If you're new to Pilates or new to teasers, keep going as is with the knees bent because you do want your legs straightening to assist with you getting up. And you want it to assist and counterbalance you going down. Now, if you want to try a straight leg version with me, it's right here. Start in our L. This is a capital L. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders. Where are you going to kick your legs? You can't. So all you're going to do is lower your legs. When you lower the legs, that weight transfer, again, allows you to pull yourself up. It is challenging to keep your legs straight, so feel free to bend. But what's going to happen again when you lower back down is you straighten the legs. As you start to roll down, instead of bending your knees, you're going to lift it up to the ceiling straight. All right, let's try that again. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders. I'm going to lower the legs at the same time that I crunch up. Inhale, you hold the V. Exhale, if your legs stay straight, then you're just going to hold it there. If your legs stay straight, it just stays there until you finish the roll down and you pull your legs back up. If your legs ended up bending, then you just have to straighten them again. Let's do this one more time. Arms, head, shoulders. Lowering the legs, we crunch. So you're going to just feel yourself slowly kind of transferring your body weight over. You should feel your abs though. And then pull your legs at the end when you're safely down. And again, this is all like, a little bit of experimentation. If you're here and you pull your legs this way right away, the weight of your legs just has you rolling down, so you won't feel your abs. Okay, so we're nearing the end of the hour, so it's like 6:20. So, I know you guys got to go other places, and I'm sorry for starting late. But let's just finish with some push-ups, and then that's it. So we've already been stretching and strengthening throughout, so we're not going to do a very, very full stretch today. So here's the push-ups. We're going to be on our hands and knees. I'm going to extend the right leg. I'm going to do a push-up, keeping my elbows tight. I'm going to put the knee down. I'm going to extend the other leg. I'm going to do a tricep push-up. Notice as my chest goes down, my leg goes up because my body is actually a plank. Straight line from the top of my head through that one straight leg. When I bend my elbows, they're staying close to my rib cage. Tuck it in. And my arms, my head goes slightly ahead of my fingertips. So I know when we do push-ups sometimes, if I have both knees on the ground, there's a tendency for people to shift back like this. So part of the reason I have this leg up right here, because it's rare that someone leans back like this when the leg is up. A lot of times when the leg is up, people will naturally lift the leg, drop their chest, and hopefully get their body position in the correct position for the tricep push-up. All right, you guys want to do 2 more? Good. Remember, you want to squeeze your butt really intensely so that when your chest and body goes down, your leg goes up with it. So this is what I mean if you don't take your leg with you, but when you take your leg with you, that's straightness. All right, so that's what you want to watch out for. Okay, so shake out your arms. Great job, everyone. Thank you, thank you. Even in real studios, sometimes the speakers don't work and the stereo doesn't work and whatever. But we always figure out a way, don't we? Thank you guys for sticking with me. Let's take a breath in. Nice big stretch. Exhale. Remember, good posture is something that we can't take for granted, and that is something we must think about all the time. And I'm talking to myself because if I don't think about my posture, I slouch too.